Starting today, Apple is temporarily allowed to sell the Apple Watch Ultra 2 and Series 9 back in their stores and online. But the key word there is temporary. They only have the option to continue selling this in their stores until January 10th. But that's really not that much time. Like, that's only a couple weeks. And Apple has submitted a software update that they feel is enough to get past all this banning in the US. But the government has until January 12th to respond to that. So as of this video, the Ultra 2 and Series 9 are still just listed as currently unavailable on their website. So I'm not sure if Apple's going to put them back in the store because now they have the ability. I actually went to my local Apple store yesterday because I just had to see what it looked like without the Ultra 2 and Series 9 on display. And I gotta say, it was a little sad. You walk in there and you see the display of watches and they're all the SE, which is a great watch. This thing is awesome. It has a lot of tech built into it, but it's not up to the level of the Ultra 2 and Series 9. And just to see just it on display, like there was no other watch, there was no other sign of the Series 9 or Ultra 2 even existing, other than the fact that they did have the Ultra watch bands on display still. The employee was even nice enough to open up the drawer to show me like the additional colors and options. And it was kind of sad because you could even see they have like a little charger area for the Ultra in there with the watch bands. And there was obviously, it was just a watch band wrapped around it with no watch because they cannot show or advertise the Ultra 2 in their stores right now. So it was kind of sad to see that. If you don't know what's going on, Apple has been in a battle with this company called Masimo for multiple years at this point over the blood oxygen sensor in the Apple Watch. So this has been out since the Series 6 and they've been in battles ever since then. But back in October, the ITC, the International Trade Commission, sided with this Masimo company that they were in the right, Apple was in the wrong, and they told Apple they had until basically Christmas to remove the watch from their stores and they can no longer import the watch into the US. Now, President Biden did have the option to veto this. However, the Biden administration responded saying, they're not getting involved. But basically, Apple had to wait until after Christmas to file more appeals to everything going on. And in this case, they did win this option to continue selling the watch in their stores for just a little bit longer. They've also submitted an update to the government, a software update that they feel like is enough to get around Masimo's patents. Masimo claims that this is hardware only and that these patents are not enough, but the government has until January 12th to decide on that. So if they don't decide sooner, that means coming the 10th or the 11th, Apple has to stop selling the Apple Watch again if they do even list it online and in the stores, and wait until the 12th to hopefully win that battle. And if they do, then they're good to go. From what I understand, probably more battles will continue, but they'll be at least free to continue selling the Apple Watch. But there's still that weirdness of, like, if the government does wait until the 12th to decide on the software, which of course they probably will, if Apple does start selling the watches again, they'll have to remove them again. And it's just ugly. It just doesn't look good to the average consumer that doesn't know what's going on. So craziness there, but there was more information that came out about what happened in 2013 with Apple and Masimo. They had met and tried to work together on this, and whatever happened, they couldn't work together. Apple did offer one of their key engineers a job back in 2013. He declined it, and then a year later, he reached out to Tim Cook asking for a job because he wasn't happy with how his career was progressing at this Masimo company. Apple did hire him, and apparently they had hired about 20 other employees from this Masimo company, which does seem a little shady, I will say. But this stuff happens. Like, engineers move jobs all the time. And I can see, people go from Apple to Google to Facebook to, that happens because usually you get to a point as an engineer and you just can't progress. So that's where this employee got. So if you want to get like a pay bump or you want to get like a status bump, you go and you change companies, and then that's just how engineering jobs work a lot of the time. I wouldn't even be surprised if we hear that some Apple employees are working at this Masimo company. It did happen, and obviously the technology is very similar and all this, so I'm not saying who's in the right, who's in the wrong. There's very mixed feelings in the comments, I'm sure, of my other videos. I'm sure they will happen in this one as well. So there's a lot of people that love Apple that say Apple can do no wrong. There's a lot of people that are anti-Apple, and of course, Apple does wrong every single day. Either way, this technology is like, it's life-saving. So even though this one isn't used by everybody, there's a lot of people that need this feature. Now, Masimo claims that this thing doesn't even work that well on the Apple Watch. They say it's like inferior to theirs, but they're still fighting this battle even though theirs is way better. Like, it just gets on my nerves. Like, I mean, I'm not a big patent fan to begin with. I think it like slows down like the progression of tech. Like the Apple Watch is this awesome product, but at this point, if Apple didn't have so many patents on this, I think Google and whoever else makes smartwatches could use some of the same stuff that Apple has and make their products better, which in turns forces Apple to make their product better. Because right now there's no real good competition to the Apple Watch. So the Apple Watch has just been on this slow and steady increase of adding features. And it's just sad because it could be so much better than what it is if it had more competition, but it can't have more competition because Apple has all these patents that don't run out for however many years. As a consumer, patents really just hurt us more than help us because they just slow down innovation. That's what's been going on this last week with the Apple Watch. If you like this content, if you're a big fan of the Apple Watch, all my content's on the Apple Watch, and it's not all about this. Like, I know I've been reporting on this a lot because this has been the big news story as far as the Apple Watch goes, but I will have other videos, other tips and tricks. I have another one that I'm working on right now that has to do with the pinch feature, the double tap feature, whatever you want to call it. So if you're interested in that at all, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see more info on this, I got a video right here. If you want to see more videos on other Apple Watch stuff, click right here. I hope you have a great one. God bless.